students, welcome to Eternal Easy Education. In this session, you are going to learn Chapter 10, Flow of Control, Part 2. So, content of this video is, what is iteration? What are the types of iteration available in your book? For loop, while loop, do while loop. So, in your chapter, iteration statements. So, an iteration is a sequence of one or more statements that are repeatedly executed until a condition is satisfied. So, here a set of instruction is going to be executed. How many times it will be executed? It is based on the condition. So, how far the condition is true, the statements will be executed repeatedly. So, how to do this? So, first point, what is iteration? Iteration or looping means a set of statement is going to be executed repeatedly. How it is going to be executed? Based on a condition. If the condition is true, it will execute. Again, the condition is checked. So, keep on checking the condition, the execution will take place. When the condition becomes false, the execution gets stopped. So, the three types of iteration statements that are possible in C++ are for statement, that is for loop, while loop and do while loop. Simply, looping statements repeat a set of statements as long as the specified condition remains true. Then, parts of a loop. So, how the looping is framed. So, to have the loop, we need four elements. What are the four elements? Initialization expression, test expression, then update, then body of the loop. So, if we are saying that in our program, I am going to use loop, then I must know all the four elements and I have to use the four elements in a proper way. First one, what is initialization? There is a control variable. Control variable means if we are saying that if the loop is going to be executed 10 times, consider that for an example. So, we need a starting point and an ending point. So, to control the start and end, we need a control variable. So, first the control variable should be initialized. A starting value should be given. So, before it enters into the loop. So, before entering into the iteration, there must be a control variable and it should be initialized. That is the use of initialization expression. Then what is next? Next is test expression. So, here the condition is given. If the condition is true, the body loop or the section or the statements will be executed. In the condition checking, there are two types. One is entry controlled loop, another one is exit controlled loop. What is the meaning is, entry controlled means the condition will be given at the first. Exit controlled means condition will be given in the last. We are going to see the example just for the theory purpose. So, the first point, we need an initialization. After that, there is a test of a condition, and if the condition which is for the loop is present on the entry means it is entry controlled. If it is present at the last means it is exit, and we will see the example, you will clearly understood the concept. Then update expression. Update means as the control variable is having an initial value, after that it should be incremented or decremented based on the requirement. So, there must be a updation in the control variable. Then body of the loop. Body of the loop is the statement, the set of statement which is to be executed. That is the body of the loop. So, now we will see the loop for while, do while, one by one. The first one is while loop. A while loop is a control flow statement that allows the loop statements to be executed as long as the condition is true. The same scenario, it's a control flow statement which is going to execute set of statements as long as the condition is true. And while loop is a entry controlled loop because the text expression is evaluated before entering into the loop. So the syntax, the format, how to use a while loop. While is a keyword followed by the test expression within the bracket, open curly brace, body of the loop, that is the statements, then close curly brace. Then next statements will be followed after the curly brace. We'll see one example program. So this is an example program. As you know, hash include IOStream and using namespace std followed by int main. So it's the main function. Execution starts from main. You know that very well. Execution always starts from main. Followed by the main, int I equal to 1, sum equal to 0. Here initialization of I. So I, the variable, is initialized, that means the starting value is 1. And while keyword followed by a condition. Condition is I less than or equal to 10. So this is said to be the test expression and I is the conditional variable. Here it is the control variable of the loop. Then body of the loops is sum equal to sum plus I semicolon I plus plus semicolon. This I plus plus, which is the control variable here, I is the control variable. First the control variable is initialized, then control variable is connected with the condition and the control variable is updated. Updation may be increment or decrement. So here the sum of 1 to 10 is, so instead of 10, first I'll show the output and I'll explain the steps. So the output, the cout statement is sum of 1 to 5. Sum of 1 to 5 is 15. So how it is executed? See here. So as you know, I is the control variable. Am I right? So I started with the initial value 1. Then what is the next step? Within the while the condition is I less than or equal to 5. Okay. So what is the value of I now? I is actually 1. Am I right? Because it is 1. Starting value is 1. So 1 less than or equal to 5. That is the condition checking. So if we ask 1 is less than or equal to 5, the condition is true. Okay. If the condition is true means it has to come inside the body of the loop. What is the statement? Sum equal to sum plus 1. So sum. Left side is the variable. So left side variable is given as it is sum equal to. What is the right side? Sum plus I. So the right side variable sum is replaced with the initial value of sum, that is 0. So here it is 0 plus value of I. What is value of I here? 1. So totally it is now 1. Okay. What is the next step? I plus plus semicolon. So actually I plus plus means I must be incremented 1. The full form of I plus plus is I equal to I plus 1. Am I right? I hope you remember this. So what is the final result? What is I? What is the value in I? 1. So 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Okay. So the value of I here is incremented 1. So it becomes 2. After that there is no statement. That means it has to again go for the condition checking. So after the last statement, it has to again go for the condition checking. What is the condition now? I less than or equal to 5. So what is the value of I now? 2. So now it should be changed as 2 less than or equal to 5. So what is the net result of the condition? 2 less than or equal to 5 means the condition is true. Then what is the next statement? Sum equal to sum plus 1. What is the last value of sum? It is already 1. Am I right? So now sum equal to, what is the value of sum? 1 plus sum plus I value. Here it is I value, okay? So sum plus I value. What is I value? 2. So it is 2. Now it is becoming as 3. Okay? So the next system, I equal to I plus 1. So I is incremented 1. So I value is 2. It will change to 3. After that, it has to go for the condition checking. Okay? Each time it is executing like this. Now what will happen? 3 less than or equal to 5. Again condition is true. If it is true, then now sum equal to 3 plus 3. Then 6. Likewise, the execution is going to take place until the I value becomes greater than 5. I will execute the next statement also. Now the last statement is I value is 3. So 3 less than or equal to 5. So condition is true. Now we have to say sum equal to, what is the value of sum lastly? It was 3. It was 1 plus 2 is 3. So 3. Now the I value is also 3. So it's 3. So it will become a 6. Now I is going to be incremented 1. So now I will become 4. Again it has to go for the condition checking. So now 4 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. Then sum equal to, last value of sum is, what is the last value? It's 6. Am I right? So sum equal to 6 plus, what is the value of I now? 4. So 6 plus 4. Next I will increment 1. So I is now 4. So it is incremented 1 means I will change to 5. Again it has to go for condition checking. So now it is 5. 5 less than or equal to 5. 5 is not less but it is equivalent to 5. So condition is true. Again sum equal to, what is the value of sum lastly? 6 plus 4 it is 10. So 10 plus value of I is now 5. So 10 plus 5 equal to 15. Okay. Then I should be incremented 1. I equal to, what is the last value of I? 5. So it will become a 6. Again it has to go for the condition checking. So now I has to check as 6 less than or equal to 5. Now the condition is true or false? Probability is false. So lastly the value of sum is 15. Okay. So here after that the last statement is sum of 1 to 5 is print sum. What is in sum? What is in sum? It is 15. Okay. So the output is sum of 1 to 5 is 15. Yes, we got the answer 15. So you understood the concept. Here you must know three things. One is what is the initialization of the variable and which is the control variable and where the updation is done. Okay, is it clear? Next one is do while loop. Do while loop is an exit control loop. In the do while loop, the condition is evaluated at the bottom of the loop after executing of the body of the loop. This means that the body of the loop is executed at least once, even when the condition evaluates false during the first iteration. So first point, while is a entry controlled loop. Here do while is a exit control loop. Okay, first point. So why it is exit control means the condition is going to present in the last. So this is the syntax. We have to start with the do, body of the loop. Lastly, the condition is given. Here the condition is followed by a semicolon. This is mandatory. So we'll see the example now. So see the first while loop. Okay, you know this now. So what is the changes? This while condition is going to come at the bottom. And here there is a keyword do. See here, same. The while condition is given at the bottom with a semicolon, and here there is a keyword do. Do followed by the loop of the body, then condition is given. Here also I change this number as 5. Here also 5. Both the program is now going to execute the same thing. Only difference is in the structure of the looping. First we used while, here we used do while. But the output here is same. Then when will be the output differ? So why we need two types of syntax as the output looks like same? Actually the difference between while and do while is entry check. First condition, then statement. Okay. In do while, first statement, then condition. That is the first difference. Second difference, as do while is having the condition at the bottom, it will execute the statement once even the condition is false. We'll see one example for this. See this program. Int main, int I equal to 2. In the while I less than or equal to 3, cout welcome followed by /n I plus plus after the while loop cout end. Okay. So what is the control variable here? Control variable here is I. Okay. So first the control variable is initialized. So here it is initialized with the value of, follow me. So it is initialized with okay. In entry loop, condition is given first. In the condition, control variable is checking a condition like I less than or equal to 3. As I is 2, 2 less than or equal to 3 means condition true. If the condition is true, loop will execute. Okay. So first welcome is executed. /n means new line. Next I plus plus. I plus plus means I is starting 2. Now it will become 3. Again it go for the condition. 3 less than or equal to 3. Condition again true. So again a welcome statement is printed. I is incremented to 4. 4 less than or equal to 3. Condition false. So it is coming out of the while loop. After the while loop there is one statement end and it is given. Okay. First point, while loop is entry controlled and the condition is checked first. As the condition is true, it is executing as per the condition becomes false. Is it clear? Here, instead of 2, if I give us 4, what will happen? First condition is checked. So 4 less than or equal to 3. 4 less than or equal to 3 means condition false. So it will not execute any output inside the while loop. Okay. So the while loop is not executed. After the while loop, there is a statement end that is executed. Understand the point? First condition is checked. If the condition is false at the beginning, there is no execution of while loop. Okay. The same program, now I am going to change to do while. How to make it? Just cut this condition and paste below and add a semicolon. Then here you have to start with do. Okay. Exit controlled loop, because condition is given at the bottom. So what about the condition? Condition is false. Am I right? Because I is 4. 4 less than or equal to 3 means condition is false. First we noted that while the condition is false, while loop is not executed. Here also the condition is false, but it is in do while structure. Here execution will take place once, even though the given condition is false. Can you see that? One execution is given. So it executed welcome, then I is incremented. Incremented in the sense 4 will become 5 and it will check the condition. It asks for 5 less than or equal to 3, condition false. So it's come out of that. Condition is checked at the exit level. So the loop is executed once, even the given condition is false. Understand? It's a easy thing. Easily you can score full mark. If they ask what is the difference between while and do while. So you learn to 2 loopings. One is while, another one is do while. While is entry check loop. Do while is exit controlled loop. Now we are going to see about the another looping, for. In the for, initialization, expression and updation will be in a same line. So a for loop is very easy for typing and using the logic. Most probably for loop is recommended if the number of steps is predefined. That means if I know the set of instruction is going to be executed 10, 20, 30, if I know the counting, I can use for. You may ask the question, Miss, if I know the counting, can we not use for loop or while loop? Means it's not like that. Program which is executed in the for loop can be executed in the while loop as well as in do while. There won't be any change in the output. But being a programming student, we must know the difference technically. If I know the number of execution predefined, I can use for loop. If I don't know how long the condition is going to be true, means I can use while loop or do while loop. If there is a requirement that I need at least one execution, even the condition is false, means I can use do while. So it depends upon your nature. You have to decide which loop you are going to which loop you are going to use in a program, whether it is a for, whether it is a while, whether it is do while. Actually, for statement is very much interesting and very much tricky. That means for is having 3 things in a same line. First initialization, then text expression, test expression, then update. Okay. Even though all the 3 are in the same line, execution differs. Execution differs means how it works. First initialization will take place. If after the initialization, the condition is tested. So if the condition is true, it will enter into the loop. After that, it will go for the increment. Then it will go for the condition. Again execute. Again it will go for updation. Then check the condition. Again it will execute. So it will keep on executing only these 2 points until the condition becomes false. So even initialization, test and update are the same line. Internally it knows its execution part. Initialization will work only one time in a loop. So the same program can be given in for loop also. How to do this is simple. I declare the variable. Initialization of I is I equal to 1. Condition check means I less than or equal to 5. Updation means I plus plus. So all the three are in the same line. In while loop, first initialization, then condition, then updation. Okay, 3 parts, 3 steps. All the 3 steps are in one line in for loop. And the only statement in the loop, body of the loop is sum equal to sum plus I. Then same, sum of 1 to 5 is. So see the length of the program. Same program is written in while, do while and for. But when we enter the program in the for loop, the program length is reduced. Same output. Okay, is it clear? Then you must know some of the interesting things of for loop. First one is multiple initialization and multiple updation expression. That means a for loop can have multiple initialization. See here one variable I equal to 0. It is also initialization. Comma j equal to 10. So two variables are initialized followed by a semicolon. Here the segment starts. First segment. Second segment is I less than or equal to I. Here it is condition checking. Third segment is updation. Here two variables are updated. One variable is incremented and another variable is decremented. So a for loop can have multiple initialization and multiple updation. First point. Really for loop will be very interesting. Shall we execute this? So see the program. I comma j, two variables are there. I equal to 0, j equal to 10. First its starting value is 0, here starting value is 10. And I less than or equal to j. I incremented, as I starts with 0, I is incremented. J starts with 10 and j is decremented. So the value of I is, first one, the value of I is starting value is 0. Okay. Then value of j is, starting value is 10. Next, as the condition is true, it executed the loop. Then I incremented. 0 will become 1, j will become 9. Again 1 less than 9. So value of I is 1, value of j is 9. Likewise it is going on. Once the condition is 4 and the value is 6. After that it will become as 5 and it will become as 7. Which will be 5, I will be 5, j will be 4. So here 5 less than 4 means the condition is false. So it is executing only up to 5 steps. So what you learned from this example program, for loop can have multiple initialization, multiple updation statements. That is the point. Then can you see this optional, only semicolon is given. No initialization. Initialization is given separately. I equal to 1 is here. I can give a semicolon, and after there is no increment part, but increment part is used inside the for loop. So this is also possible in for loop. This is said to be optional expressions. Generally for loop contains 3 parts. If it is not given in single line, it can be given as empty semicolon. Okay. Then another point is infinite loop. Infinite loop means there is an initial value, but there is no condition. Just a semicolon is given. It will not say any syntax error, but logical error. As there is no condition checking, it will keep on moving. So it will end with infinite loop. Then it is said to be empty loop. Empty loop means it will not execute anything. So if there is no body of the statement means I can use like this, a for loop followed by a semicolon. That is said to be empty loop. Even though the body of the loop is given, the body of the loop is not executed because there is a semicolon here. So you should be very careful of using the semicolon with for loop. So you have learned the 3 loops: while, do while and for. So another concept is nesting of loops. Nesting of loop means nested if, just like nested if, loop within another loop. So a for loop is having another for loop. A while loop can have another while loop. Even a while loop can have for loop. Any one of the loop can be within another loop. All are possible. So this is said to be nested loop. Here there is an example. Here is a for loop. Here is another for loop. 2 for loops are there to express the multiplication of table. So output of this table is given like this. Let me execute this program. So here is the program: multiplication table. First title, multiplication table. NDL means new line. In the new line, 1 is given. What is the meaning of /t? 1 tab space. So 1, 2, 3 up to 9 are typed with 1 tab space, horizontal spacing. Then NDL, new line. Okay, so there is a new line. Then in the new line, int c equal to 1, c less than 10. So one column 1 to less than 10, so 1 to 9. Then in another for loop, again 1 to 10, that is 1 to 9, less than 10, so it will move up to 9. So column row. So I into C. First 1, here also 1, so here 1 to 1, 1, 1 to 2, 2, 1 into 3, 3. Likewise, the multiplication table is executed. So in this session, you have seen the iterations while, do while and for. This is given in the reduction syllabus. There is another topic, but this is not in your reduction syllabus. We will see it later. So we have learned the part 2 of chapter 10. So that's all for this session, children. Thank you. Have a good day.